Hello, Void. How you doing? Phoebe Urso here. So, on to one of my more current reviews. Now, this one's not in my backlog because I just watched this one last night. Trying to keep up, not let my backlog grow. So just trying to review whatever I watch right away, and then keep picking through the backlog. Well, so last night I decided I was going to watch a movie, and usually I've been trying to either whittle through like alphabetically, but a lot of things there I wasn't sure if my partner wanted to watch with me, so I wasn't sure what I'd be watching there, and just decided to kind of, since we're still watching through the Godzilla films, I decided to pump the brakes on that for the second, and I was just going to pick something. So rather than spending an hour wandering through my collection, I was just kind of scrolling through my app, like, okay, what haven't I seen for a while that I like that I would want to watch? And I had a thought that probably not many people ever have. And I wanted to watch The Cave. Yeah. Does anyone remember this movie? No? Probably not. I remember this film because I actually saw this one in theaters and worked at a video store when it came out and was able to pick up a copy pretty quick. Don't remember The Cave? I don't blame you, because the same year, 2005, that The Cave came out, another cave-based horror film came onto the scene, The Descent. Now everyone remembers The Descent. That movie is great. The Cave, it's okay. It's not a bad film. It's just a forgettable film. It's sort of lackluster, but sometimes you're just in the mood for a middle-of-the-road, autopilot, just turn off your brain, and let it go. Every once in a while, I have an urge for a middling horror film. I'm probably one of the few people who do. So a movie like this, it fits that bill perfectly. One where you don't have to think, you just put it on, and away we go. And The Cave fits that bill pretty well. Now, so, The Cave revolves around a cave. Go figure. Anyway, it starts as kind of a flashback of a group of, we don't really know who they are, actually. But it's a group of people who are breaking into this area, and they're not supposed to be there. We know that much. And they seem to be trying to find this cave system because, I just watched this last night, and I'm still not completely sure their motivations. I think they think there's gold in it. Or maybe it's like a way to a gold vein, but essentially know this church was built on top of a cave system, and they want to get into it. So, how they found out about it, we don't know. But they did, and go in, blow up the floor of the cave, or the floor of the church, despite seeing these weird mosaics that depict monsters. And we hear some strange noises and some screams, and that's kind of cuts to the present. With the cave being rediscovered by some scientists who want to research the cave ecosystems and map out the cave. And so they get some cave divers, which are our main crew, because the cave is flooded. And yeah, into the cave we go. Don't beat around the bush. We're going right in. So we've got a team of scientists, team of cave divers, and they're trying to get along as they go into the cave. Now, they have to kind of go underwater and swim into this forward point to try to get deeper into the cave. After they do that, they kind of try to set up a forward camp there, but an accident happens on the way when some thing attacks one of the divers, which causes an explosion, and now they're sealed in about 3 miles away from where anyone expects them to be, and they're stuck underground. So, they've got to try to find a way out of the cave, and things in the darkness are stalking them. Not to mention, the leader, Jack, of the divers, was injured and seems to be infected by something, as they discover that some of the strange animals down here seem to have this parasite that helps them adapt to being down there. But it also may have made the giant monsters out of people. So, they're trying to get out before Jack turns into a monster, despite him getting some abilities to better adapt into the cave. And it's whether they can trust him or not. There's some group conflicts. But his brother, Tyler, is so sure. He pretty much keeps siding with him because brother. And that's like half their dialogue is, no, we gotta trust him, he's my brother. And it's more of like a action flick than a horror film. Despite the whole taking terror to a new depths tag, like it sounds more action based. There's some creepy elements, sure, and the monster design isn't bad, but it's more of a they're gonna blow some shit up here. Cool. Yeah, overall, it's not a bad film. There's nothing that really sets it apart, and the ending is just kind of a head scratcher, but it isn't a terrible film by any means. It's just kind of forgettable, which is kind of a shame because I do have a soft spot for a movie like this. I'm still not going to review it very high. For me, it's still just a 5 MacGuffins. Especially since, things like the box there. I might have to use a copy that someone wrote all over, but you see this giant jaw thing coming up there? That doesn't happen in the movie. See, the trailers may look like there's a whole bunch of monsters that they're going to be stuck on here with. Nah, really it's just bat people. Really coolly designed bat people. So they're not like pitch black here. But, you see some, that's I think supposed to be one of the eels that they don't really do much other than swim around and intimidate folk. Overall, it's fine. 5 MacGuffins. Doesn't really do much beyond that, though. It served its purpose of killing an hour and a half last night, which is all I wanted it to do. So, the acting is fine. There's a few odd line reads here or there, but for the most part, it's not terrible. It's worth seeing once if you like horror films. Beyond that, alright. All on The Cave. And that's probably the most anyone's talked about The Cave in a decade. Alright, see you later, Boyd.